All right, I'm noting the start time, 9:34.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one
nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
Thank you, Amanda.
Actually, I don't think I got a copy of our agenda today, so I assume we're just jumping right into the mission and vision planning here.
You have to do public, I think you have to allow public comments.
Yeah. I mean, there was an agenda. I'm not sure.
It was posted, I printed it.
Good.
Okay, yeah, I didn't have one in front
Oh,
of me.
but we have to do roll call, right? Recording,
Yes, sorry.
I think, yeah. So, first of all, let me record 9:35, 9:34. Okay, Jason Brandt,
Here.
Jenny Carlson,
Here.
John Larkin, Ken Marshall,
Here,
Allison Pinkett Floyd,
Here,
Sue Wiggins, Kristen Osmstad Walsh. And we have staff members, Claudia and Sue. Okay,
And Amanda.
Amanda, I'm sorry, our visitor is Amanda. Got it.
Thank you, Kristen.
Mhm.
So now I think we're clear, right, to start?
We do,
public comment.
there is nobody public and nobody sent any comments
Right.
prior to this meeting, so we don't have any public comments today.
Kristen, if you have that agenda in front of you, maybe you could read them off. I just unhooked from my net extender to open it, but I think it went out in an email from Sue. That way we're sure we don't miss anything because it's a special meeting and we got to
Yes.
follow. So thank you.
You mean read what's on the agenda here?
Yeah, just kind of go
Yeah,
down.
so we did the pledge, the roll call, public presentation, you said there was none. So we need an action item to adopt the agenda.
Yes. That.
And
I
I'm not
make a
sure.
motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll second.
Roll call vote, please.
Jason Brandt,
Yes.
Jenny Carlson,
Yes.
John Larkin, Ken Marshall,
Yes,
Allison Pinkett Floyd,
Yes,
Kristen Osmstad Walsh. Yes. Okay. New business. We are going to have a discussion on the strategic planning with Amanda Standerfer Consulting.
all right.
Thank you, Kristen.
So Sue, is there anything you want to say to kick us off here? Or should I just jump in?
You know, I just want to say this is something that I've never actually been part of this type of process of actually determining a mission and vision in this particular fashion. It's usually been much more pull a rabbit out of, here's something we like, let's do it, as opposed to really examining it. So I hope you enjoy this discussion today. And this is part 1 of 2 for this week. On Wednesday, Amanda will actually be in town and she will review the draft of the strategic plan. We've already reviewed that with the managers and gone through to start to create some action steps that could be aligned with the particular goals. So you'll get to preview all of that. And then is there a vote on that, Amanda? Is that what we do at that point, you know?
Not until the March meeting will you vote on it because the board may have changes on Wednesday and we'll want to incorporate that.
Great.
I just want to add a thank you for going through this process and taking another Saturday morning on our behalf. So thank you.
Yes, and I also thank you. I'm excited to be with you again. I was really inspired by our last conversation. It was really engaging and it really helped us move the process forward in building the strategic plan. So I'm excited Wednesday to share the entire plan with you. And if you haven't already, you'll receive a draft of that plan so you can kind of go through it. But we're missing a couple key components, and that's the vision and mission statement. So as Sue said, this is part 1 of 2. As she also said, this is a little unusual in that I like to do vision and mission statement kind of by consensus rather than me saying, here's your vision and here's your mission. you all need to feel really good about these statements. And I also like to do vision and mission statements within the context of the rest of the plan. So while we're having this discussion now, and we're going to narrow down and hopefully get really close today, Wednesday, when we look at the entire plan together, if we feel we need to go back to vision and mission and make other changes, we can definitely do that at that point. So we're kind of down to this nitty gritty of like building the actual plan components. And these are the final steps in the planning process. And then after you adopt the plan in at your March meeting, hopefully, that's when we'll shift to implementation. That has already somewhat started because the management team got together and started talking about the goal statements and how they would work with their teams to achieve the goals. So we're already kind of dabbling in implementation because we want this to be a plan that you actually use, not just something that you trot out occasionally to look at. So I'm going to share my screen. And what you're going to see on the screen is what you all should have and should have reviewed. I'll zoom it in a little bit because I do know it is a little hard to see on the screen. But basically, we're going to just go through vision first and then go through mission. You'll remember that vision is that short aspirational statement that says what you want to achieve in the community. And it doesn't have to necessarily even make sense. It should be something that you all as board members feel like, yes, the library is striving towards. It should be something that inspires people to want to come to the library. It should be something that inspires staff to come and do their work. You have a current, I'm going to put this in quotes, current vision statement. It's not one that you've used a lot, but it's the 3 words, connect, discover, grow. And then you had kind of phrases that went along with that to connect with the community, to discover something new, and to inspire the future. At the retreat, you'll remember that you all kind of like that. And we've actually built the plan components around those 3 words because we really liked them too. And the staff, the management team also liked them. So the 3 options, other options for vision statements, keep with that theme. So it then ties the plan together even more if you've got those words in your vision statement. And then those are the key things that you're working on. You'll see how this comes together on Wednesday. So there's a couple of suggested options here for you to talk about. I think the best way to do this is to just, open it up. Which one do you like? Is there something you would change about one that would make you like it more? And we'll kind of see where we're at. So what are your thoughts?
I had a lot more thoughts on the mission than I did the vision. But honestly, my off the top gut was when I read these, I kind of like the old one for its simplicity better. And the more I overthought it, the more I kind of went back to, why are we overthinking this? Because the second one, the second one is really more concrete and drives the work of the organization. So I kind of stopped spinning my wheels and thought, like, let's get in and see what other people are thinking. But, I think all 3 of these have, interesting parts and benefits, but I don't mean to say we should go back to what we had, but I don't know. I kind of liked the simplicity of, I don't know. I guess it's longer, but yeah. I guess it is longer because we're looking at the whole second part there, but would it still be connect, discover, grow, and then the second part would change? Or would we just dump the whole first part and just have one of these 3 in place of it?
That's kind of up to you and what we're here to talk about. And I can also see the benefit in saying your vision statement is just those 3 words, but then having those phrases that you could use in different ways for marketing purposes or with programs or things like that. So there is kind of a benefit in having a little more description than just the 3 words. But I have definitely worked with libraries that have a 3-word vision statement, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
Well, I'll interject. I of course love our original mission statement, just because, when we really thought through it, these were the motivating forces behind the new library. other than needing a new physical structure, this is what we wanted to achieve. I like number 3. Adding the 4th word or the 5th word doesn't change that. I think that could be the mission statement, but when we shorten it, when we use it, if we use it in any way sort of throughout our letterhead or in our weekly or in the Gazette, I could see shortening it in using it in different ways, but still coming back to the message. What's really behind it is inspiring these connections, this discovery, and this growth. So I could see updating it a little bit with those extra, into a phrase versus just 3 standalone words. But I can see us using those 3 standalone words in other areas, and it all just ties back.
Yeah, and Allison, that's exactly the 3 words, because they're the 3 like headings for your strategic directions. That's exactly what I think would end up happening, is that you would, no matter what vision statement you go with, you'll often probably distill it down to those 3 words.
Exactly. And so in the newsletter, there could be a section called Connect, and then everything that we were doing to connect with the community is there. All the discovery, whatever comes up in the children's department, and then whatever growth, whatever we're trying to do in outreach to the community, to our schools, falls under those sort of 3 banners.
That's a great idea. I can definitely see that being implemented.
I guess the one term keeps coming to mind too for the library is, we kind of serve. Do we serve the public or do we connect to the public? I guess that's what's the one thing I was trying to figure out. I mean, Connect kind of has that service theme in it as well, right? We're connecting to the schools and different organizations within the community, but we're also trying to to serve whatever their needs are, right? It's not just connecting to what they want, right? We're here to try to meet their needs where they're at.
Well, but do you currently serve? So if you're currently already serving, like if you feel like that's something you're already doing, that's more of a mission statement versus vision.
Yes,
If the vision is
that's more of
to
a mission.
connect. Yeah.
And actually, Amanda, you have served in the mission below. I'm getting ahead of myself, but there's some discussion around that word. But
Yeah.
I love that approach of we're here to serve.
Other thoughts on vision? Ken, what are you thinking?
Well, I don't know if I'm trying to come up with something that more, I don't know, I like the word welcome somehow, like the Helen Plum Library welcomes all community members and inspires connection, discovery, and growth, or something to that effect. I like the word welcome, and also Jason's service, I think, is good too. We could work those two words in there somehow. The library welcomes and serves all community members and looks to inspire connection, discovery, and growth, or something like that.
Yeah, the one other theme that I had too is kind of going to the library is kind of an individual thing when you go to the library, right? I mean, there are some group events too, but it's kind of your individual growth that we're trying to do versus very abstract, the whole community, right? So what your journey is to the library, right? We're trying to service whatever that might be, whether it's just a movie entertainment or learning or whatever your journey is, right? We're here to serve that type of journey.
Right. No, I agree. I think that a lot, probably the overwhelming majority of people go to the library and they take out a book or several books, they take out a DVD and they leave. I mean, the library offers a lot more, but it's a minority of people that go to the various clubs and attend the programs. I mean, if you look at the number of library card holders we have, and you look at the number of people who attend book clubs and talks or whatever, it's a small minority, and I think we should serve them. And I think Jason's right. I mean, it's almost more of an individual journey to the library as opposed to, well, I'm going to the club at the library. So.
See, I totally disagree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's been who we were because we were a small library, and that's sort of the traditional role of the library. I think that what we're So I think the words are open-ended enough that people will interpret it for their own particular situation. But
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we inspire people to try new things, come to new events. The new facility will permit them to, make new friends in a way, like, people that you would meet at a library because it's a great meeting space. The mommy, the parent little kid opportunities. I know as a homeschooler, I was drawn to the homeschool events. I was going to meet new homeschoolers. I mean, that wasn't my purpose for going, but it certainly facilitated those connections.
Yes. That
So
was,
I
as
think
a
could happen.
young parent, that was my introduction to like the community.
Same
Like,
here.
I mean, that's what brought me alive, was going to the library. And honest to God, just yesterday, I was there. John was there to get a book, and I was there to get my packet. I had the most fascinating conversation with Sarah, who's this librarian that online got books for my son. And I met her in person because I literally just said, hey, do you have any books on Norse mythology? And I was expecting to just get a book and like walk out. I had a 10-minute conversation with this woman, and I got in the car and I said to my husband, that is what I miss at the library. Even though I didn't go there to talk to somebody, it was so invigorating. And, and that was just to get a book, and that was a connection. I wasn't even there for a program. And but even so, a lot of people might just go to get a book and leave. And for those people, that's fantastic. And they can connecting with information, I think connect is open-ended enough. Discovery and growth can be whatever you want it to be. And that's why I think that these 3 words are beautiful. And I think a ton of people go to connect with other people, even if it's not through a program. And I think that the younger set of people, a lot of them go to actually connect with other people.
To get out of the house on a
Especially
rainy
moms.
day. Yeah. See other people.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people do go there. And I think part of our new, this whole concept of being a community hub, I think is around, we want people to, because I remember when I first came onto the board, we talked about how libraries are no longer a place to get stuff. They're a place to go to do stuff and to be. That's my recollection. I don't think that didn't come from me.
Right. And that's what we want. That's what we wanted, like with the maker spaces, with
it was kind of a trend in
movies,
libraries.
with
So
the
Claudia,
genealogy.
you'll have to correct me or tell me where that, came from.
No, it came from our original inspiration, our
I think
original.
after we get out of the pandemic, that's going to become even more of a need.
Absolutely.
People crave interaction. Those casual interactions are what's missing. So I'm hoping our library can become that place. So that's my thought. And connect, discover, grow, I think can be your personal journey. I think it can be come get a book and go, or it can be connecting with information, with people. It can be all those things. So I like it as the pillars, and then it can be whatever you want it to be.
So I agree.
Ginny, you've been listening quietly. What do you think about the vision statement?
Well, I'm thinking I like the welcoming idea on number 4. Otherwise, I think the original one is good. The 3 pillars are nice, but I do like the welcoming, so that it is inclusive.
Yeah, and I agree with you and Ken in bringing up the welcoming. I'm wondering if welcoming is something in the mission as well, because it is something you're already doing, right? Like nobody at the library is not welcoming people into the library. Right. And it is a much more concrete thing versus the connect, discover, grow, which, as you have said, can mean lots of different things to lots of different people. And certainly feeling welcome means different things to different people too, but it is a little more concrete. So I feel like if it doesn't end up in the vision, we can definitely work it into the mission.
For consideration, all are welcome to connect, discover, grow. If that's an option.
I like the idea of welcome in the mission, because you have to be welcoming in order to connect. If we don't have that, we're in another kind of trouble. I love the term welcome and serve. And I think even in the state standards, there's a term graciously, which provide service, which I also like, and we've incorporated it in our job descriptions. But I think those are powerful words, and I love the idea of incorporating them in the mission.
Okay, I do too.
Okay, so here's where we're at. You like Connect, Discover, Grow. Jason and Ken, let me check in with you because you were a little kind of on the fence or still thinking about some other things. Ken, are you liking those 3 words? And
Yeah, I think so. Excuse me. I think so. Again, for number 4, right now it says all are welcome. I don't know, maybe that's sufficient. Maybe we should put all members of the community. I suppose it's just a generic all.
But it won't just be our community. I mean,
Right.
it's not just Lombardians. I mean, you know, I go to lots of other libraries and I feel welcome there, and I would want other communities to feel welcome
Right.
here. So,
I agree. I agree.
Well, I guess it depends how you define community. I didn't.
well, just all are welcome. Yes, of
I
course it
didn't
does.
say all Lombard residents. I said
No. I know
but
that,
all.
and it's open to interpretation.
Yeah, but all is fine and the way it is. Again, I like, even if we put it in both the vision and the mission statement, you know, we want to, I think, emphasize that the library is a welcoming place that all can come to.
yeah. Jason, how about you?
You know, I'm fine with all are welcome, right? It's kind of inclusive, right? That's what we're trying to be part of the overall vision of the building, right? And the services we provide. And so you connect, discover, and grow. Everybody can make what they want of those terms, right? And get something. Everybody can pull something out of it that means something to them, whether I'm there for an individual thing or a community event. You can get something out of that for everybody. So.
Yeah, and nobody's mentioned that Connect also means technology. Like, that's also what I love. You know, when you look at the rest of the plan, you'll see that technology kind of falls somewhere else in the plan. But still, like, when I think about Connect, I think about, you know, being connected on a device.
I guess
Okay.
during the pandemic, Connect means something completely. We're all connecting electronically now, but the other kind of connection is what I think we're desiring. So yeah, but yeah, absolutely, all of that is included.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing some consensus around number 4. All are welcome to connect, discover, and grow. Does anyone want to speak to something else or including something different in that phrase? Go ahead, Kristen.
I'm crazy about the welcome term in a vision statement personally. I mean, I guess I like the concept of it. I'm more inclined, like you were saying, Amanda or Claude, someone, that maybe it belongs more in a mission statement. I don't know. I guess it depends. Amanda, how do you see us actually using the vision statement? And that was a note I had before we got in here. How will these be used? Internal versus external? Please remind us.
So, and I agree with you, Kristen. Like, I probably wouldn't recommend putting welcome in a vision statement. However, if you think of using your vision statement like a tagline, then it's perfect. Then it works perfectly. It's easy to remember. It has your 3 pillars in there, which is what you're really getting at. And then it just adds this nice, you know, piece at the front of it too. So I really like it for you. And I would also love Claudia and Sue to talk about how they think they would use it, because I see it like being all over everything.
I personally, I agree with Kristen that I prefer to see it in the mission statement. And for me, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But in a session about Lead to Change, which they do throughout the US, they really talked about the punch of a short and powerful vision statement. So I absolutely want to see welcome incorporated, but I still like the punch of those 3 words and incorporating welcome in the mission. But of course, it's your collective decision.
Claudia, let me just understand what you said. You said you like welcome better in mission. Is that right?
Yes.
But you like the punch of a short vision statement.
Discover, grow. And I personally, I love the 3rd statement there.
I like that too. That was my next follow-up, is I like number 3.
Same here.
And I personally get concerned about committing to the vision as tagline, because I feel like it locks you in. Just from a marketing communications person who I have a love-hate relationship with taglines, because because I do. And but if we were going to have one, number 3 could work as such. But I would hate to collectively decide. And of course, Sue would probably be the leader and, of this going forward. But I would say locking us into using a vision as tagline from here moving forward for the next however long we're using this, I would feel uncomfortable with, but that's me. But if we were going to decide on a vision statement, whether or not it has legs as a tagline is secondary. But I do like number 3 personally right now, because it's more than just connect, discover, grow. It adds a little more punch to it, but it still has simplicity and it's clean. And then welcome, I think, would work better in mission. So I'm kind of with Claudia on this.
Let me also say, Kristen and Sue, I'll let you say what you're going to say. I'm sure it's similar to me, but I think I understand what you're saying, Kristen, about it locking you in. And I think because those 3 words are so flexible that you can use those in different ways too. So even though you're not adopting, connecting the community, discovering new things, I think you would still use those in different places.
Yes.
Go ahead, Sue.
In doing a lot of the rebranding that we're doing, one of the things that we just did is recreate signatures, email signatures with the branded look. And when Christy was creating them, she put connect, discover, grow in those signatures. And I told her to hold off because we hadn't confirmed going forward that that's what we do, but everyone liked it. And they I think we haven't used it. We haven't taken advantage of that.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't felt 100% right in the old building and all the strife. And so, but now it feels right. It feels like the opportunities
Now's the time
available. We're connecting more. We're going to be discovering more. We're going to be growing more. And the community is growing and discovering and connecting with us. And so the 3 words, I think, and I loved the idea, Allison, where they could be, this is a connect program. This is a discover program, or, things like with news, we could, and I even thought about this the other day, that we'd probably want to rebrand the Gazette. The Gazette was a nod to old fashioned Lilacia Park. And with our kind of new, forward thinking approach, and of course, with the new 411 address, that could be the 411, could be our new Gazette. And we could break the whole new Gazette up with these categories. I mean, this is just a little brainstorm that I'm seeing. So I'm glad that it stuck around and now it's applicable to our future.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm hearing consensus to go back to just having connect, discover, grow, or to also consider number 3. Ginny, what are you thinking?
I don't really get too turned on about visions, to tell you the truth. And I like the word welcome because it's inclusive. And there are people who perhaps don't know that we are truly inclusive, and having it there is good. Any of these would work for me. It's okay.
How will the public know? How will the public be introduced to the vision or mission statements? Because that's probably the deciding factor. We want the public to know they're welcome. So if our mission statement is the one that, they might see when they come into the website and it says, oh, the library's mission is to welcome all to connect, discover, grow, then that's where it should land. To me, the word welcome should land because we like it enough. I feel like our vision, I don't know if that's more internal, that's how we are thinking of ourselves, that's how we are programming ourselves, that's how we are, trying to evolve into our next, iteration. So maybe that's where the vision comes from. I just don't know which the public sees. Whichever one they see, I think welcome should be there. For me, I love the inspiring, having the 3 pillars and then tagging on the inspiration. I think that's exactly our goal, is to, build this library that people can come in and find new things that they incorporate into their lives. So that's, to me, the inspiration. So whichever one, that's what I'm asking, Amanda. Where will the public see these?
Yeah, and I'll let Sue talk about this for a second, but part of when you adopt this plan, there will be graphics that go along with it. So there will be a 1 page that has the vision and mission both on it. So in terms of just saying, like, we just went through this process and here's what we're working towards, I can see you rolling that out in lots of different ways. But in terms of what you're using over a more consistent, longer term, it will probably vary a little bit, and maybe not be quite as mission focused, because the mission is really like what you do. It motivates your work at the library, not necessarily what you're connecting around people with, what you're inspiring them to do. Your vision would be more that. So I don't know, Sue, do you have thoughts on how people might interact with these statements?
I can see it being, what I call like the pinball effect type thing. It starts popping up everywhere. It's, we incorporate it into the website. It then gets incorporated into the newsletter and the e-newsletters, the signage that we put on the chain link fence in front of the construction for the new building. All of that, and then it becomes a tag on the bottom of our signatures, and we can make signatures for all the trustees to use in all their library emails, and you can,
Right.
contain. So we could put together an entire small marketing strategy for that would, how to incorporate this. And it of course, and it really makes a lot of sense in all the new things that we're doing with obviously the new branding, the new website, and the new building. Some people might think it's new.
Right, sure, they will. Well, it feels new, or it will anyway. So which
Jason,
one would you
sorry,
be
go ahead.
using, the vision or the mission, Sue?
Well, I think the mission is not necessarily, a tagline or something that I think that we would, the whole strategic plan graphic design that
Mhm.
Amanda's describing, the 1 page, I think we would definitely include it in an issue of the Gazette, so that
Mhm.
everyone in the community would receive a copy of it. So, and
Right.
of course, it would feature on our website.
Mhm.
And, we would then push it out with the social media too, and just say, take a look at the new strategic plan, the dates of it and that kind of thing.
And so does that mean both would be? So when you roll it out to the community, are they going to see both the vision and the mission? So we don't want to be redundant, but we want them to be distinctly separate messages. They're going to see both. Here's our vision, here's our mission. How does, I know you still have to think about it. I'm just wondering what's been
Yeah.
done in the past.
we haven't, at Helen Plum, we haven't done any use of either. And we haven't really had a mission statement with, bullet point type things to take forward. So we'll get creative, and we'll take a look see what others are doing in this area too. It kind of goes side by side with the culture code in certain ways, because these are things that we've worked on, if we've established as part of the library. One's an internal, this is more of a external document. So we'd work it that way.
All right.
I love this.
Jason, where are you kind of at with this? Are you just the 3 words? Do you like one of the phrases?
I guess if I were to write it, I probably would do welcome everyone to connect, discover, and grow. But if we want to take that off, I would be okay with that as well. I think in the end, we probably would end up in the same spot either way. So.
That's kind of where I am. Yeah. Whatever.
Ken?
Well, I still like the word welcome in the vision statement, and either the iteration of number 4 the way it was, or the welcoming everyone to connect, discover, and grow. Although I think the exclamation point is maybe a bit overboard. I think you just put a period or just have no punctuation.
Yeah, it makes it look like growl.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but it's like, I don't know, it's seemed overhyping or something. But I could live at number 3 also. I mean, I'm a little bit in Jenny's position in that, you know, I don't know that this mission vision statement is going to inspire hordes to descend on the library. You know, I mean, it's something we want to put out there as a goal, but I think it's not as important to the average community member as we seem to think it is. It's something to strive for, that's for sure.
And I would say welcome instead of welcoming, but you know, like I said, I'm open. If everybody else had some good reasons too to say, let's just make it the 3 letters, and we'll put some of the descriptive things that we're trying to achieve as a library in the mission statement. I can be behind that as well.
So question, even if we decide as a board and well, whoever, I don't know collectively, do we get to decide as a board, or is it, I'm not sure who the final decision maker is, but if whoever decides it's number 4, would we still have the flexibility of like using in the signature just the shortened connect, discover, grow? Because I think using that whole tag, if we're using that whole piece as a tag, gets cumbersome. So can we pull out pieces of it as needed? You know, like I love Allison's idea, and I think it morphed into what Sue said about using it as potentially in the e-newsletter about, you know, a connect area, discover area, grow area. I mean, we could still pull pieces out of it, right? Even if we decide welcome everyone is the full phrase. Would that be fair, Amanda? Or
yeah, absolutely. And so here's what I'm actually going to suggest, because I think you're close. And what I'm going to do is take the kind of where I think you're at and put it in the full plan. So when we're together Wednesday, I think that's when we can narrow this down a little bit more, let you think about it a little bit more, because I'm also mindful of the time and I want to make sure we talk about mission. So you're not making a decision today. I think you're very close, which is awesome. And I think having a little more time to think about it and seeing everything together maybe will help you kind of come to that final place. But yeah, Kristen, you're totally right. Even if you decide on welcome everyone to connect, discover, grow, you can still just use those 3 words. Those are going to be your strategic directions. So I think you will use them in lots of different ways. Okay, is everybody okay moving on to mission and kind of just noodling over this a little more? Okay, perfect. Okay, so again, mission is that very concrete statement about what you actually do at the library to achieve your vision. So you've got 5 options here. You don't have a current mission statement. And same thing, I would love for someone to speak to which one you really like, why you like it, what you would change, that kind of thing.
You know, the other thing that we'll do is when we reach out to Sue and John and kind of go walk through this a little bit with them, whatever feedback they provide, we can make sure that Amanda gets that also.
Perfect.
Well, I have a thought, but I feel like I always go first. So I feel like someone else should
go first.
The things I was thinking here, right? I mean, what we're trying to provide, right? So we said provide, I'm kind of looking at number 3 here, which is kind of closest to what I was thinking here, but you know, instead of providing space, right? We're providing a facility, or it's even more than that though, right? You don't always have to come to the building to get our services as well. But you know, we're providing you an environment, right? To connect, discover, and grow, right? We're trying to let you on your, again, I like the term journey a little bit too, but what that is, lifelong learning is kind of the popular term. I don't know if that'll always stay that way, but you know, what you're trying to get out of it. And we've always got, I would like technology a little, or something along that line too, I see as part of our mission, right? It's not just that we're providing, or you know, services like where you got a computer if you need to get onto the internet to do what you're doing, right? So it's more than just the materials there around it, or the Wi-Fi, you know, all those type of things that we provide. I don't have the exact term, but those were the things I was running through my mind here, trying to give for the mission here. And I like the serve term in there too.
Kristen, why don't you go ahead and tell us where you're at?
I liked some of the first thing Jason said, the space and environment. I eliminated number 5 because it doesn't mention the library per se. It talks about access to information technology, learning. So I crossed that off. And I'm sure it could be massaged to put it in, but we had 5, so I eliminated that. The ones I liked the best were 1 and 2 personally. And I think others have been, I think all of them have good stuff in it. And I kind of I like the word gather. I like the word serve, both from number 3. I wasn't crazy about the word share in number 4.
And one term that was in my mind too, I didn't throw, it was convenience too, right? So we're trying to be not cumbersome, right? That whether it's the drive-through, right, or
accessible maybe is a word that is all encompassing.
Mhm.
The one, what I liked about 1 and 2 is I liked, of course, the first one has the hub in it, which we've talked about, is in our logo. If we're really trying to, and I know this is a working statement, so I don't know that if we're not, putting that out to people, we probably don't need to hone it quite as much, but I liked the concept of making the strong declaration, we are a community hub, we are a community resource. That's why I like number 1 and 2. And I like that we declare ourselves as a place where people come for being there, connecting with people, getting resource, so I like number 1 the best. Community hub that provides access to information, but sharing. A hub doesn't share, so that doesn't really work grammatically because it's a thing that. So what I had was we're a community hub that provides access to information, diverse resources, and learning opportunities, and connects people to each other. But here's what I ended up doing is, as I was paging through your strategic plan really quick, I found an even better thing that was already written for us, probably by you, Amanda, or someone, staff person, maybe Sue, on page 9 at the very top under grow. It says how HPL is a central hub for the community, offering resources, spaces, and opportunities that cannot be found elsewhere. Now, maybe that's not everything, but I really like the guts of that because it's, it's resources, which is kind of all that stuff. Spaces, which is the place, and then opportunities to me covers programming, because I feel like none of these mention programs, and I don't know that we need to use the word programs, but it's a big, huge part of what we are, I feel like. But I guess it falls under opportunities. And I like that phrase, that cannot be found anywhere else. And I guess, again, this is not a public, this is more, a working statement. But to me, that's a big driver. Like, this stuff you can't get somewhere else. And I would think as a staff and even as a board, like, that inspires me, we're a place that you can't find elsewhere.
Kristen, what do you think it is that we'll have that you can't find elsewhere? I mean, definitely.
I don't know.
So I'm just wondering if that rings true.
How about the professionals? You're not going to find professionals that are resource experts and research experts and readers advisory experts and early literacy experts. You're not going to find them anywhere else except at the library.
No, even the gathering.
So do you mean libraries in general, or I'm just, that's the only part of the statement. I mean, I would love that to be true, for us to be a unique hub that, we had something that no other library had.
Well, no, but where else in the community would I go? Where else is a central place I could go to meet someone, to find programs, books, to just meet up, besides like a coffee shop? Where there would
I
be
listen,
resources.
the library, the hub, the whole thing and all that we offer, definitely not diminishing anything that we offer. I'm just wondering if that statement, it didn't ring true for me, because not just because I was thinking, well, other libraries might offer this or that. That was my only thought about it. I agree with you about, you know, what we provide and that it's the space and
I wasn't,
technology
oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking of other communities. I'm talking about, when you're talking
in
about
our
Lombard,
community.
there's no other place in Lombard, or talk about any community in Elmhurst. There's no other place in any community
That
that
does
the
what libraries do.
library doesn't, it's like a library.
I
You know what
agree with
mean?
that.
So I'm not saying that there's not anything that Elmhurst provides what the library and other communities provide what our library provides, but nothing else in Lombard provides what a library provides. That's what I meant.
Absolutely
And we
true.
wouldn't have to use that phrase. When I read that, I'm like, that's really powerful. But anyway, the rest of it I liked, and it kind of rung true of the stuff in 1 and 2. I like the declaration that we're a community hub or resource. I like that we provide all that stuff. And I think we.
I don't like the, that cannot be found anywhere else. I think it's
Okay.
presumptive of that there's lots of programs in other places that are offered. I think if you stopped at opportunities, okay, but
Okay, well.
there's a lot of things that, I mean, you can go to a bookstore, you can go to a coffee shop and get Wi-Fi. You can go to a meeting and get a speaker on something.
I
just
was
like we
thinking
have
the
our program.
combination.
Well,
And it's true. We
could
do
you-
offer the combination of all of it as opposed to individually going to different places. But I did what
that's
Kristen did, and I pulled different parts that I liked. And then just trying to make sure we had the word welcome in it because I like it in the mission. Something like, we welcome the community to connect in our spaces, discover new resources, continue to grow on their personal journey or their collective journey, however we put that. We're happy to serve all, you know, and then playing with, we are a community hub.
Okay, Allison, go back a little slower so I can type it.
Sorry. Yeah, so I was just pulling ideas from the variety of options that were in front of us. And so we welcome the community to connect in our spaces, to discover new resources, and to continue to grow in their individual journey. We're happy to serve all. We are a community hub.
Okay, so those are kind of the key ideas that you want to
Yeah.
see in the mission. Okay.
Does the word inclusive belong anywhere instead of happy to serve all, or does that?
It could, yeah, you could switch it out easily.
Ken, which one do you like, or do you have other ideas that you want us to?
I'd like to ask, excuse me, Kristen, reread the one she came up with
Oh,
individually. Hers, not the one.
it's not mine, but yeah, HPL is a
No,
central.
I'm sorry, not the one that you quoted from the book, but didn't you come up with one on your own before then?
No, I did. It wasn't totally no, I just said that I liked 1 and 2, and I read words that I liked from the other ones.
Okay. I like the idea of community hub, and maybe we are an inclusive community hub or something to that effect. And still, you know, I'm hung up on this word welcome, but if we're not going to use it in the vision statement, we certainly should use it in the vision statement. We certainly should use it in the mission statement. So I'm like, we are a welcoming and inclusive community hub. Maybe that's a little awkward, but
It works.
I like that.
We are welcoming and inclusive community hub, providing access to information, sharing diverse resources, and connecting people to each other and to learning opportunities.
That's where I actually did read part of my own. Ken, I got rid of sharing because it was access to information, diverse resources.
I would say one other term that I was thinking is trust as well. You know, we are a trusted source of credible information, right? The staff are trusted
Oh no, that
to
doesn't work. No.
you know, help you, right? that type of stuff. I was trying to figure out where trust could come in here too.
Well, that means that we've evaluated and, oh,
Oh,
True,
no.
yeah, well,
No, you have to put sharing back in. Sorry, I was wrong.
Providing instead of sharing, providing.
No, sharing has to go. I'm sorry. I was thinking of it wrong. Sharing has to go back in before diverse.
Allison, is there one that you liked? I know you also had another one that I put up here on the screen, but we're kind of starting to work on this welcoming and welcoming.
It should be like Helen, HPL is a welcoming and inclusive community hub.
Yes.
So
We're a welcoming and inclusive community hub, providing access to trusted information, sharing diverse resources, and connecting people to each other and learning opportunities.
yeah,
You know what's missing here, though, is that staff and the expertise that they provide, the value added they provide. Maybe
so is it a one sentence mission statement? Is it a pair, like, is it 2 sentences or is it one? What's the rule?
it can be whatever you want.
Okay.
Typically it's 1, but usually no more than 2. Sometimes people get into bullet points, and I would not recommend that just for formatting's sake.
Okay, well, I would add another statement about, our the staff provides expertise and assistance, or they're a trusted source of, let me see how, I can't see the top of it, but something like that. Claudia liked the word serve, somebody liked the word served, graciously. There's a lot of, our staff will graciously provide expertise and assistance.
Did you guys look at the chat things that Claudia?
Yes.
Posted?
I can't see the chat for some reason, so you'll have to tell me. It's not coming up on my screen.
Oh,
I can tell you that
Sorry.
it's the core 1 standard from the Illinois Public Library Standards. The library provides uniformly gracious, friendly, timely, and reliable service to all users. I had actually seen that statement in somebody else's job descriptions and I loved it. And then like 6 months later, I saw it in the core standards. I thought, oh, they didn't create it. It's out there for all of us. But
So should we have our own version of it? I mean, basically.
You know what, we've incorporated that statement as we go through job descriptions, as like there's about 4 or 5 things that are in every, not job, well, expectations. We're still working on that, but I don't think we have to put that exactly in here, but I think it encompasses some of what you're talking about. It's, reliable service that gets to trusted sources. I like all users as opposed to welcoming all, only because I keep thinking of the people we've had to ban and them pointing to that going, you're welcoming all. And Sue makes a good point that you're welcome until you lose the invite by your behavior, but.
Right. Okay. All
I
users.
guess the trust is more than just the resources that we give, that they're credible, but it's, I'm comfortable bringing my child, right, and letting him come to the library, right. I feel it's a safe, trusted space to whether the programs or just the overall environment, right, is a trusted location.
If you look at the Pew Research, that is the hierarchy of people's expectations of public libraries, the word safe is at the very top of that list. So, and the other word that you might want to consider is vital. And that is because our process is it involves so much taxpayer money. It's so much part of, everybody's contributed to this. And so we want to make sure that everything we're doing is vital to the community. So that's just something else to consider.
I think that's a good point, Sue. And going back to the what you can find at the library that you can't find anywhere else, I think Kristen's point's valid, and Ginny's is as well, that you can often, go to the Park District for programs or the bookstore for story times or the coffee shop for Wi-Fi. For us, we've frequently said, the programs at the library, we're not charging. There's not a paywall as there is maybe at the Park District or for the some of the programs and performers. So I think that's what opens it up to the whole community, is that if you're here, you can participate. I know obviously they pay for it in their taxes, but there's not another surcharge. So
Right. Yeah, good point. And I think you could put, we are a safe, welcoming, and inclusive community. Put that safe, like you say, right in the beginning, because that is key for people who, aren't deeply rooted in the community and maybe are new and want to.
Well, I mean, this state really guides what the library should be doing, right, all the time, right? So we should always be thinking when we're doing something, safety should be part of programs we do, the facilities we put on, right, all that type of stuff. So
I think in the one that says we are a safe, welcoming, and inclusive community to help providing, maybe the word free should go in after providing. As as somebody pointed out, Park District charges for virtually everything. All these other places charge, but the key for us is that we have free access. We're taxpayer funded and nobody has to pay extra fees to come in and enjoy the library's resources.
although, Ken, I would say there are people that debate that, because people say that it's not free, we're paying taxes for it.
right.
Right. And they
Yeah.
are, and we are.
The
Yeah,
word
Well, but they
free
say the
is,
same about public education too, and I do believe
Yeah.
we have free public education, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah.
But
It's,
But
well,
and not everything's free though, right? So we do
exactly, no.
charge for, so.
Lots of,
Um,
I think free is good in there.
It's,
but-
it's not recommended from a marketing perspective.
Right, but Jason's
There's been
point
a
is
lot
right,
of
we do
pushback
charge.
on that term
Yeah.
amongst the library marketing community. But, if you think it's important, it can be.
No, I don't think we should put it in there.
All right, if it's controversial, it can be dropped. I also am a little, I don't want to say concerned, but disconcerted by trusted information. Believe me, you can find books in the
Yeah,
library,
I agree.
crazy,
Yeah,
with crazy theories. You pull out a book
Yeah.
on UFOs or on,
Well, I think we're trying to
QAnon.
say our staff is trusted. So if we're going to put
Right.
trusted, it should be about our staff
Yes.
being trustworthy, reliable
Professionals.
Source.
professionals, right?
okay,
That's in here, trusted source.
it
Trusted
is
professionals.
10:30, and
Yeah.
I think you all have had a wonderful discussion. I think we're going to do the same thing here. We've got lots that's kind of coming together, being mashed together. I'll go back and write a couple statements. I encourage you to write a couple of statements that, get you where you want to be. What I'm going to recommend is that when I see you in person, yay, on Wednesday, that we're going to actually go through the plan first and talk about all of those components. We're not going to get into this level of wordsmithing on the goal statement if there's something particularly triggering or bothersome, because also remember the management team has already gone through this plan. So basically they're saying, this is what we're recommending to you. Certainly if there are things that you want to tweak, we can do that, but we're not going to spend this much time on each goal. So we'll go through the entire plan first, and then we'll come back to these two statements and take some time to just refine them and come to consensus on the final statements. I can't remember, Sue, do we have 2 hours on Wednesday night to go through everything?
We have, how much time do you need?
Well, it depends. I mean,
We have a full agenda, so I don't think we have 2 hours to spend just
Okay.
the mission here.
perfect. So I think if we can get through the plan itself, within the first half hour, then potentially we've got, another 20 minutes or so. Basically what I'm saying is, please come prepared having reviewed the plan first. And if you have any particular things that you do want to call out and talk about, be ready to talk about those, the more expedited we can move through the plan itself, then we can come back to these two statements at the very end.
If you could send us in advance your kind of suggestions for the vision and the
Yes,
mission based on our
sure.
conversations today, so we everybody can look at those before the meeting, that would be great.
Yes. that'd be
I'll
great.
absolutely do that.
Okay.
And if anyone else has suggestions, please email them directly to, we'll email them to Sue and she'll make sure that I get them so that we can have them all on the screen together.
Okay.
Okay, so again, I'm noticing the time. Are there any kind of final conversations? I know you have other business to attend to today.
No, I think it was a good exercise. It's never easy with 6, 7 people wordsmithing a sentence or two. So, but it's good to get our good thoughts on this. So,
Yeah, good progress. Awesome. So Sue, do you want to give instructions for the next part of their meeting?
Great, great job, right, Claudia? We were so impressed by all of your work that you put into this, and it's really exciting. So we're going to log off of this meeting, and then for the next meeting, we'll start at 10:45. So you get a few minutes to take a quick break if you need to grab coffee or go to the bathroom, and we'll see you at the other Zoom link at 10:45.
Okay, so we're
Got it.
adjourning. I think we have to
Yes,
have
I was just going to say before we go, can we make a motion to adjourn
make a
and just
motion to adjourn.
Second.
I second it.
Okay, who did
Adjourn?
Ken make a motion?
Oh, I thought you did.
No, I seconded.
Okay,
we don't need to vote to adjourn, so we are good.